I'm actually quite shocked.
Seems to be a bit of mercury.
That is so gross.
Toxins are bad. Really bad. Cancer used to mostly be something older people were susceptible to, but now it's showing up younger and younger. Now we know it's not just your DNA, it's also your whole environment. Introducing the fourth pillar of health, RAT, reducing annoying toxins. I highly recommend you get out your sunny-side snuggle scribbles and let's dive into the toxic world of our homes. Number 1, heavy metals. No, I'm not talking about that kind of heavy metal. Heavy metals are found in nature, but it's mostly human activities like factories and chemicals that have turned them into common toxins. And once these heavy metals get into our bodies, they accumulate. Your body can't break these toxins down. It can only try to get rid of them, and that takes time. So how exactly are these heavy metals boiling us alive inside? First, they cross the BBB, the blood-brain barrier, causing damage to the brain. All toxic metals mess with how we think and feel. Inside your cells, heavy metals are like party crashers, kicking out important minerals such as zinc. They damage cell membranes and crank up oxidative stress. This stress burns down important building blocks like fats, proteins, and even your DNA. And if that's not enough, many of these metals are carcinogenic. And what boils my blood is that researchers tested 168 foods consumed by babies and toddlers and found 95% of baby foods tested had at least one heavy metal, and 1 in 4 had all 4 of the heavy metals we will discuss today. Just absolutely shocking. Lead. On the periodic table, lead is Pb, short for plumbum, the Latin word for lead. That's actually where we get the word plumbing, because the ancient Romans used lead in their water pipes and aqueducts. Lead was everywhere in Roman society, and some experts even believe long-term lead exposure may have contributed to the empire's downfall. Lead is a powerful neurotoxin. Lead exposure contributed to about 1.5 million deaths globally per year. It's especially harmful to children, causing brain damage, lower IQ, and learning problems. It's found in old paint, hence why famous artists are thought to have painter's madness because of lead poisoning, old ceramics, toys and jewelry, which often get recalled, and even in pigments in some cosmetics. No amount of lead is considered safe. Even though lead fuel got banned everywhere in 2021, all those years of pollution still left nasty lead in the soil. Mercury. It is again a neurotoxin. Is this guy familiar to you? Yes, this is the Mad Hatter in Lewis Carroll's famous Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. But the idea of a Mad Hatter existed long before. Hat makers in the 18th and 19th century were often exposed to mercury used in the felt making process, which caused severe mercury poisoning. This poisoning led to symptoms like tremors and strange behavior. It comes from certain fish, thermometers, and even tooth fillings which contain 50% mercury. Like, why the heck would mercury need to permanently be inside of our mouths? A total ban on mercury amalgams was announced in Sweden and Norway in 2008, and other countries following on. Arsenic. If you've watched K-dramas, you've probably seen royals eating with silver or gold chopsticks. Turns out this wasn't just for aesthetic or antibacterial properties. Silver turns black in contact with poison, especially arsenic, a common poison used as it was tasteless. Arsenic is a highly toxic group 1 carcinogen that has historically been used in certain pesticides and wood preservatives. It can contaminate groundwater, drinking it is a key arsenic poisoning, and also commonly found in low levels in rice, as rice plants absorb arsenic from soil and water more readily than many other crops. Cadmium. Once in your body, it takes about 10 to 30 years to get rid of just half of it. Fertilizers and metal work can increase cadmium levels in the soil. Cadmium can build up in the kidneys of animals to stop it from getting into our food. Organs like liver and kidney from animals over 30 months old aren't allowed to be sold. Tips to reduce heavy metal exposure. Number 1, rinse and vary your grains. Researchers in the UK found a method that reduces 50% of arsenic in brown rice and 74% in white rice. It's called PBA, parboiled and absorbed. You can also mix up your grains more, adding things like quinoa, barley, or switching to basmati or jasmine varieties from places with lower arsenic levels. Number 2, eat fish smartly. I absolutely love seafood, and the good news is you don't have to cut it out. Sadly, industrially naturally produced mercury ends up in the ocean, which therefore pollutes plankton, which are eaten by little fish and then by the big fish. So avoid high mercury predator fish like king mackerel or tuna. Just choose low mercury fish. Opt for salmon, sardines, shrimp, tilapia. Number 3, keep the house clean. If you do have any lead paint or live by a highway, lead could be in your household dust. Dry sweeping can actually scatter dust, so regularly damp mopping and dusting will remove that. And take shoes off at the door to avoid tracking in any contaminated soil like bad bacteria and viruses, heavy metals, industrial chemicals, pesticides, or even fecal matter. Number 2, water. When H2O becomes H2O, no. The largest organ in your body is your skin. In many parts of the world, your tap water may contain elevated levels of contaminants, which means that when you shower, your skin is most vulnerable in absorbing these toxins. For this video, I spent extra time researching to make sure the products I recommend to you guys are truly high quality and effective, because I understand they are a big investment to your health. The Weddell Duo shower filter is the only NSF certified shower filter that's been verified to reduce chlorine, PFAs, and particulates. That is a really big deal. It was designed by PhD engineers and wellness enthusiasts in California and made in Korea, and has been dermatologist tested and approved. I've been using the Weddell Duo for a while now, and my dry, itchy scalp feels a lot calmer, my hair and skin are way less dry, and I can finally shower in peace knowing the filter's got my back from all these toxins. And beyond just taking care of your body, I really appreciate how sustainable it is. The filter lasts for 8,000 gallons, which means way fewer replacements and way less waste. If we do the maths, that's around 400 to 500 showers worth. Given that you're not too stuck in your shower thoughts, you can send 8 of your used filters back and get a replacement filter for free. From there, Weddell works with recycling partners to properly process and recycle the materials. And it's super easy to install. Even my little friend could do it. I suggest before you buy, do some independent research for the best shower filter on the market, and I'm sure this will lead you to Weddell Duo. And as always, use my code HANNA for a lovely discount on your order. So what's in our tap water? Chlorine. It is used in water to kill off bacteria. Also, ironically, the chlorine used to kill off microbes in the water can react with organic matter in the water to form toxic byproducts. These are called DBPs. Studies have linked high levels of these DBPs to bladder cancer. Pesticides, herbicides, fertilizers, forever chemicals, and microplastics. I'm only going to give them a wee shout out here, as I'll do a deeper dive in the next video, but for now, just know it's harmful. Next, heavy metals. And we already know what harm they could cause. We got this heavy metal test strips. We're going to be testing the heavy metals in our water. First sample here, we've got our tap water from the kitchen. Copper, iron, manganese, zinc, magnesium, calcium, mercury. It doesn't have arsenic, but that's fine. Silver turns black in contact with poison, especially arsenic. That's a good point. This water doesn't look good already. Here we go. Seems to be a bit of mercury. Finally, fluoride. A controversial one indeed. You may have come across fluoride at your dentist or in many of your dental hygiene products. In the early 1900s, dentists noticed something odd. People in places like Colorado had brown stained teeth but with fewer cavities. Turns out their water had naturally high levels of fluoride. Fluoride was then added into drinking water to prevent cavities and tooth decay in children. And to make fluoridating the water cheaper, councils turned to
glycolic acid,
which is a byproduct of phosphate fertilizer manufacturing. What was once considered industrial waste has now been added to public drinking water for over 50 years. Let that sink in. Fluoride is not a nutrient and our body does not need it. High levels of fluoride in drinking water has been linked to thyroid dysfunction, lower IQ in children, and brittle bones. Today, over 97% of Western Europe doesn't fluoridate their drinking water. Yet their tooth decay rates have declined at similar rates to fluoridated countries, suggesting that better hygiene and diet, not fluoride in water, may be the key. And guess who might have strong interest in pretending you could prevent tooth decay just by adding something into water? The sugar industry. With fluoride in place, attention shifts away from sugar's role in tooth decay, conveniently ignoring that cavities are caused by sugar overload. Tips to reduce water toxin exposure. Number 1, 1, filter your water. A quality water filter is often the most effective defense. There are 3 levels of filters: a whole house filter, plumbed in under the sink, and countertop filters. Then we have different filtration methods: activated carbon, reverse osmosis, ceramic, ion exchange, and so on. It's all a bit of a minefield, but well worth taking the time to explore. The best water purification method depends on your water's specific needs. The first step is to determine where your water is sourced from to get an idea of potential contaminants you may be dealing with. After some searching, and as recommended by the water filter guru, I went with the AquaTru Carafe. It's a reverse osmosis filter, which is the most comprehensive water filter. I want to note here that reverse osmosis filters do filter out literally everything, including good minerals as well. You can add the minerals back into the water, but eating a nutritious, well-balanced diet will be enough to cover for these lost minerals. The water is filtered into a glass jar, which I do appreciate. I reached out to AquaTru and managed to get a wee discount for you guys that you can check out down below. Number 2, flush or use cold water. In the morning, let the tap run for at least 10 seconds before using, or longer if you've been on a holiday. The longer water sits in the pipes, the more contaminants and bacteria it can pick up. Always use cold water for drinking or cooking. Hot water from the tap dissolves contaminants like lead more readily. You might be thinking, what about a hot shower? Same goes. That's why a shower filter like Weddell is much needed. Number 3, mold and mycotoxins. Lo and behold, mold was personally affecting me in my house.
What is that? That is so gross. I'm actually quite shocked. I think it makes sense because when we're cooking in the kitchen, it gets most humid and the ventilation isn't too good here. To think that I was cooking and breathing that mold in.
Mold is part of the fungi family, cousins to mushrooms and yeast. In nature, mold breaks down dead plants and animals, recycling the nutrients. Without it, nature's waste would pile up. So mold is needed, but indoors, it is a free-loading health hazard. Mold creeps in wearing different disguises: black, green, white, and reproduces by releasing spores into the air like microscopic dandelion seeds. These spores float around, silently looking for a damp, dark place to grow. And worse, you can breathe them in. Some species like Aspergillus or Stachybotrys, I'm just joking, they are mold species that look more like this, but they really do sound like dinosaur names, also produce mycotoxins. These toxins are shown to be neurotoxic, immunotoxic, and damaging to your liver and kidneys. In our daily lives, symptoms could look like constant fatigue that sleep doesn't fix, brain fog that makes you feel like you're thinking through honey, mysterious joint pain and respiratory issues, and memory problems. And if your home has these 3 things, it is likely to have mold: moisture, matter, oxygen. And just like that, you may have mold. To stop this mold infestation, you need to keep humidity under 50%. I bought a cheap monitor to measure my humidity. You could run a dehumidifier to keep the area dry. And as a bonus, lowering humidity also deters dust mites and pests. Number 2, vinegar. Vinegar really is a magic liquid, not just for managing your glucose levels, but for mold too. Distilled white vinegar has been shown to kill over 80% of mold species. I sprayed it directly onto the mold, let it sit for about an hour, grab some lunch in that hour,
try it again.
What?
and then scrubbed it away. And just like that, it was gone. Pro tip, wear a mask, gloves, and even protective eyewear while cleaning, since mold can release spores and toxins into the air. To keep it from coming back, I now lightly spray the problem areas with vinegar every few days and wipe any condensation that builds up quickly. I'll link some other mold cleaning solutions down below. Number 3, ventilate like a pro. Bathrooms and kitchens are humidity hotspots. When I'm cooking, I now run the exhaust fan and open the windows. You can even use a squeegee after showers to help things dry faster. Number 4, EMFs. Electromagnetic fields. EMFs are invisible waves of energy that travel through space and make up what's called the electromagnetic spectrum. Here's the breakdown. High frequency EMFs like X-rays, CT scans, and UV rays from the sun are strong enough to damage DNA and increase cancer risk. Low to mid frequency EMFs are the kind that are coming from your everyday devices. Laptops, phones, Wi-Fi routers, and microwaves. This is the type of EMF we'll be focusing on today. We ourselves have electromagnetic fields buzzing within us. Every heartbeat and every firing neuron, they all generate tiny electrical currents. And for thousands of years, we lived in tune with Earth's natural electromagnetic environment. Whales, turtles, birds, and even moles all rely on Earth's EMFs to navigate. But today, we're surrounded by something very different: artificial EMFs. Exposures that didn't exist 100 years ago. And this is where the real debate begins. They're split on how harmful daily exposure is. Most of the early focus was on the link between EMFs and cancer or tumors. But today, studies and people have started reporting symptoms like brain fog, poor sleep, headaches, and tingling of skin. That's led to a condition called electromagnetic hypersensitivity. It's not officially recognized as a medical condition in most countries, but in places like Sweden, EHS is considered a functional impairment where people can access support. So rather than wait for a global consensus, many are choosing to take precaution now. France, for example, has banned Wi-Fi in kindergartens and restricts it in primary schools. 5G is being rolled out rapidly, without prior investigation into its effects on ecosystems. For years, the tobacco industry insisted that smoking was safe, often pointing out that not all smokers got sick to downplay the risk. But decades of research eventually proved that smoking caused serious health problems. And today, some people worry that parts of the tech industry are doing the same with EMFs, funding studies that say it's safe while questioning independent studies that show possible risks. So it seems like it's better to be safe than sorry. Tips to reduce EMF exposure. Number 1, distance is your friend. We sleep with our phones in our hands. The iPad kids are iPadding with their iPads on their laps. Personally, I had the habit of putting my phone in my back pocket. Instead, try working on a desk, putting the phone in the bag when walking, or sleeping with the phone outside of the bedroom. Try to take calls on speakerphone and stand away from microwaves. As you can see, it is at 0 right now. We're gonna start it. Hello? How do I do it? Go. What? Should we go closer to the microwave? This is the only time you'll see me next to a microwave. What? Number 2, airplane mode at night. Turn off your Wi-Fi router at night and put your phone on airplane mode. Otherwise, it's continually in touch with the nearest mouse. And what's good about these 2 tips is that it naturally forces you to use your phone less, especially at night and first thing in the morning, which, as we know, is great for our dopamine levels and productivity. People often wait until symptoms start showing up before taking action. But by then, so much damage has been already done. We need to start now and stop toxins from affecting our lives any more than they already have. Prevention is everything. And with that said, that is the end of this video. I'll see you guys in part 2. God bless you guys. You got this.